My name is Connor Fields, and I'm a three-time Olympian and the only American to win a gold medal in the sport of BMX. When I was 7 years old, my mom found a flyer advertising the local BMX racing track. She said, hey, maybe this will help my kid burn off some energy. So we went out and I tried it, and from day number one, I was hooked. A few years later, 2005, the International Olympic Committee voted to include BMX racing into the Olympics. And BMX racing was the very first action sport that was added into the Summer Olympic Games. I was 12. I don't know what the Olympics is really. I just know it is that time every 4 years when your parents yell at random sports on TV. When I was 15, 2008, I watched BMX racing make its Olympic debut in Beijing, China. I stayed up all night. It was like 3 a.m, and I just thought it was the coolest thing that I have ever seen. The colors, the track, the riders, then I watched them receive medals. I just decided right there, this is what I want to do. And the next day, I grabbed a Sharpie and I wrote on my parents' garage wall that one day I would become national champion and one day become Olympic champion. At the time, my goal was to try to make it in 2016 where I'd be 23. I thought 2012 and I'd be 19 was too soon. But things happened really quick. I dedicated myself. I would go to the gym before school. I'd go to school. I'd go straight to practice after school. I woke up every day with one goal, and that was to be the best BMX racer I could possibly be. And before I knew it, I was 19 years old and I was about to be the youngest rider in our event at the London Olympics. I wasn't going just to show up. I didn't want a participation certificate, which is what you get if you get fourth or worse at the Olympics. And before I knew it, I blinked and I'm getting ready for the finals in London at the Olympic Games at 19 years old. I've got an amazing shot to win this race. And then the inexperience hit me. I was overwhelmed by that moment of knowing what was on the line. It was over. I just finished 7th place. I'm watching the guys who got top 3 celebrate, go nuts, having a great time. And I walk back to the Team USA area, I change, and I just had this big moment of, okay, now what? There's not another chance tomorrow, not another chance next year. You gotta wait 4 years to maybe have another shot. Getting into 2016 Olympic year, everything was going great. I won the national championships, I was performing well at World Cups, and on April 1st, on April Fool's Day in 2016, I shattered my wrist in 4 pieces. The doc explained that I would miss all the remaining events, I'd miss the Olympic trials, and that maybe, in the best case scenario, I'd be healthy enough to race the Olympics. 2 months after I got my surgery, I received a call from the Olympic team and they said, hey, we'll give you a discretionary nomination. So I called the doctor, I said, hey, here's what's going on. He explained legally, I can't clear you, but if you hit it again, if you land and you plant your hand down, you're toast. So I had a decision to make and nobody around me pressured me. It was all on me, and I thought about it for about 30 seconds. I said, I'm going. I'm not gonna wait 4 years for this one shot and then not even try. And I had 8 weeks of training between then and the Olympics. I advanced all the way back to the final, and I'll never forget what my coach said to me right before that final. Hey, do you remember London? And do you remember how you felt every day since then? This is your chance to fix it. I had the race of my life, and when I rounded the first corner, I saw that it was my teammate. It was the other American in the lead. That puts you in the absolute hardest position you could be, because that's my teammate, a friend of mine that I've known for 15 plus years in front of me. Do I try to pass him and I throw away the silver because I'm getting greedy? But in that moment, I didn't even blink. I was going for it. I'm not riding with a broken arm. I'm not going through all of this stuff to get to this chance just to settle. I was able to advance past him and not affect his race, my race, and win the Olympics. Crossing that finish line was every positive emotion you could possibly have turned up to volume 10. Okay, now I reached that mark. Now I do it. I'm the Olympic champion. I just reached my lifetime goal at 23 years old. Now what do? Every athlete wants to go out on top, but I'm 23. Physically, I'm in the prime of my life. There's another Olympics in a few years. I'll go for it again. I've got so much more experience. I've had a good Olympics. I've had a bad Olympics. I've had a pre-games injury. I've had another 4 years of racing on top of the previous 8 years of professional racing. There's nothing I haven't seen before. And then came COVID. So it was uncharted territories for everybody. What am I gonna do for income, my job? Everybody's got that stuff going on. As we got into 2021, I was excited. Training went as well as it could have. I was in the best shape of my life. I boarded that flight to Tokyo, ready to go. The whole summer of 2021 is blurry to me, but I do know, and I have some memory, that I absolutely crushed it on the first day, the quarterfinal day in Tokyo. I won my quarterfinal. The morning of Olympic finals day comes around, and I asked one of the Team USA coaches if we were on a rain delay or what was going on. And he said, yep, we're on a rain delay. I'll come and get you when it's time to get going. And then I woke up alone in a hospital bed, covered in bandages, nobody there, no idea how I got there, feeling horrible, and my phone's sitting next to me, and everything hurts. It hurts to move. I reach over, I grab my phone, 500 text messages, CNN, Fox, BBC, ABC, NBC, every major news outlet covering this story about this Olympic BMXer involved in a terrible accident. And as I'm scrolling, I catch up and I see the video. Oh geez, that doesn't look very good. The doctor comes, explains what's happening, explain that I had 4 brain bleeds. They're on standby, about to cut a piece of my skull out, but luckily the swelling started to go down. Collapsed lung, broken ribs. I had no control of what I would say because I injured the part of my frontal lobe, the part of your brain that controls impulse. I spent the next 5 or 6 days, in the ICU, fading in and out of sleep, and that I'd have to remain there until it was stable that I could fly, and they weren't worried about, the brain bleeding again on the flight. My parents were trying to get over to Japan. They watched it on TV at home. It went all the way up the chain to the US ambassador to Japan. And because of their COVID restrictions and everything being so strict, the compromise was if I died, my father would be allowed into the country to escort my body home. And he had to take that call. We're not gonna let you in. We're not gonna let you come sit by the bedside table of your son as he potentially dies. But if he does, you can escort his body home. Finally get cleared to fly home and go straight to brain rehabilitation, where we did a comprehensive testing to find out kind of where I was lacking, what was going on. And from there, I had to rebuild. And the scariest part was that they couldn't tell me, you're gonna be okay. It's not a broken bone where they can say, 4 to 6 weeks and you'll be okay. It's a brain. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. So they said, just do your best, stick to the plan, and pray. And so after about 12 months, I had my checkup for my brain injury, and they basically said, hey, look, we're not gonna tell you can't do anything. What we are gonna tell you is your brain can't take a hit like it used to. What would have been a mild concussion before is gonna be more severe now. Think like a boxer at the end of their career. So when I was cleared, I had to decide, do I wanna take the risk? The Olympics is only 3 years away because there was the delay, and I was 15 minutes away from the final. I fell in the final semifinal. Do I want to go out that way? Do I want my last race after 23 years, after being the most successful American in my sport, the last time I leave the track on a bodyboard? Or do I want to try to come back and try to go to the Olympics? It's only 2 years away now at this point because I just got cleared. But ultimately, I decided that there's so much more to life than winning Olympic gold medals. And I want to have a healthy brain for the rest of my life to do whatever it is that I choose to do. But now that it's over and now that I've had some time away, I'm thankful I made the decision that I made. I'm proud of everything that I achieved. And what I learned through the highest of highs down to the lowest of lows is indispensable. It's unbelievable what I've been able to learn and to have the opportunity to share that and hopefully help people skip the part of thinking that life is all about a result and that every day above ground is something to be thankful for. You shouldn't wait until you have a near-death experience to know that. My message is universal. It applies to anybody in any industry who wants to achieve better for themselves. If you'd like me to come and speak for your business, your association, or your convention, feel free to reach out. I'd love to talk.